Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is March 20th, 2026, and you are listening to episode 227 of the Midnight Film Society. Your host, Damian Sherman. Joining me today, as always, is...
Derick McDuff.
On today's show, the 98th Academy Awards were finally held this week. Derick and I will go over, with a fine-tooth comb, all of the upsets, the shocking wins, and all of our favorite moments. But before that, we'll go over some movie and TV news, discuss more about what we've been watching, and finish up with our Letterboxd assignments. Right into the show, midnightfilmsociety@gmail.com, Midnight Film Pod on Instagram, Blue Sky, Letterboxd. Subscribe on Pocket Cast, YouTube Podcast, Spotify. Rate and review it on Apple Podcasts. Tell a friend, family member, or stranger. What's up, dude? How we doing?
Doing well. We just watched the Oscars. I know you won your competition.
Yeah.
So congrats to you for getting your little statue.
Yeah.
We're doing well. Life is good, and I'm gearing up for WonderCon, so I'm excited for that.
Nice. Yeah, I went to the first ever live Oscars showing at my local theater. Guess they do this every year. It was the first time I went to it. And yeah, it's a fun. They had a whole crowd of people, probably 40, 50 people in there. They held trivia in between the commercials, and whoever won the trivia got a little statue. And that was me, of course, because I'm a little trivia boy. I know the stats. I'm the stats boy and the trivia guy. So
Stat boy, yeah.
Stat boy, that's what they call me in the streets. I'm the stat man. It was fun. It was fun seeing it live. It was fun not having to surf around the internet for pirated streams to try to find it, because I've told you I haven't had cable for at least 15 years. So more.
Neither have I. I was just on Hulu.
Yeah, much more enjoyable experience. Yeah, my coworker was saying that too. I didn't have to go out to go see it out there. If I could have just streamed it on Hulu, because they're finally making that stuff a little more UI friendly, user friendly. It was a good time watching it with people, in an audience, that actually people that cared about that stuff. So it was fun. I think I'll probably do it again next year.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I saw there's some things like that going around around me. I kind of forgot about it until the last minute, so I just ended up watching it alone. But that's really cool. Like I said, I got to do that with some of the Olympic stuff, so those things are always fun.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so why don't we just dive into it? Let me go back to the thing here. Yeah, Derick, overall, what did you think of the 98th Academy Awards?
I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. Obviously, the winners. There was not a lot of shocks when it came to what won, with maybe one or two exceptions. But it was stuff I was glad all the winners I was pretty much glad to see, with maybe one exception. And it was a good show. Not all the bits landed, but Conan is always great. So it was really good to see him host again, because Conan has shaped a lot of my sensibilities when it comes to humor. So it was really nice to see him back as the Oscar host for the second year in a row.
Yeah, I liked him as well. Seems like he seems like a down to earth guy, very funny guy, very self-deprecating. But I do think there's a line to tread there where you don't want to be too self-deprecating, but you also don't want to do what a guy like Ricky Gervais would always do at the Golden Globes. Would be like, you people in your awards, you're so full of yourself, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dude, we're here to celebrate the awards. Don't be so down on the awards.
Don't be talking about political issues. You don't know anything. I'm a genius, though.
Yeah.
It's just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Very good hosting. I got to the show a little late because I was working late, so I was able to walk over to the triplex and where they're showing it, and I didn't see the opening ceremony or the opening thing. Do you want to speak on that a little bit? How that was? I did catch a little bit on YouTube just now, just before we hopped on the mics. How was the opening ceremony and all that stuff? Opening monologue.
It was good. It was, it did the classic Conan thing of he's going through and running through a bunch of the nominations, which is something he did going back to him hosting, the Emmys in the mid 2000s, the mid-aughts. So it's him getting chased by all the kids from weapons, with the Aunt Gladys face. So that was pretty good. And then his opening speech was very good. And then that rolled directly into the first award. There was no kind of now go to break. It was just kind of the ball is right rolling. But yeah, Conan, he always had great opening monologues on his late night show and the Tonight Show and everything else. So it was very, very much in that same absurdist kind of but poking fun at the world and also himself a lot, style that he's best known for.
Yes, yeah. I'm just looking through some of the jokes from the opening monologue. One battle after another, Best Supporting Actor nominee Sean Penn got an erection at gunpoint. Then director Paul Thomas Anderson said, "Let's put that in the film."
That was good. That was good. He also
Yeah.
took a swing at Ted Sarandos, the CEO of Netflix. I enjoyed that. He's like, "This is what it's like in a theater. Welcome," or something along those lines. I thought that was pretty good.
This is what they're talking about? Why are they together enjoying themselves? They should be at home alone.
Where I can monetize it.
Or I can monetize it. Let's see. Amazon Studios didn't receive any nominations this year. Also shut out Walmart and Chewy.
That's pretty good. Why do I need the place I buy my toilet paper from to get Oscar nominations?
Last year when I hosted, Los Angeles was on fire, but this year everything's going great.
Of course, delivered in that great Conan deadpan, and he just kind of does the Conan face afterwards.
Yes, he did. Yeah, that's pretty great. All right, but there were some awards that night as well.
They did do some of those, yeah.
They got some of those, yeah. Coming into the awards, coming to the show, Sinners had the most nominations of any film in history. I won't spoil where it ended up or where One Battle ended up, but yeah, it did pretty well for itself. Any big wins, any big snubs, any big surprises, just overall, I'm not speaking, specifically to anything, but any big, moments that you were like, yes, thank God that won, or, oh shit, I can't believe that guy lost.
I mean, right off the bat, the very first award, the Oscar awarded was Best Supporting Actress right there before there was an even commercial break. And it went to Amy Madigan for Sinners, which I thought was, I was very happy to see. I loved Sinners. It was one of my favorite films. I thought she was incredible. And that was the only thing it was nominated for. And it's also a great story because she was nominated 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Had not been nominated since. It's the biggest gap ever between two Academy Award nominations, and she won. She got on the stage. She gave a great, very humanizing speech. So it was a really good way to start the Oscars. I think it was one of the things I was kind of like, all right, good for them. You talked a lot about how there was so many nominations for Sinners, One Battle. I think that they didn't really spread the love this Oscars, and that, we talked about that a little before, but as we got more into it, I was just like, it's just like the nominees for Best Picture are getting almost everything. I was like, did they watch anything else besides these 10 films?
Yeah.
To the point where I remember when they were announcing the Best Original Score category, and I was like, all 5 of these are Best Picture nominees. And I get that when it's like, oh, well, Best Acting, I get why they would do that, even though if I disagree with it slightly. These are great performances from great movies, but I'm like, you can have a really bad soundtrack in a really good movie. Tron Ares came out this year. So why are we only giving movies that are also nominated for Best Picture, Best Scores? Not to say that those aren't great scores, but it's also like plenty of other movies that aren't recognized for Best Picture had good scores too. So it just felt like they just wanted to focus on a few films, a few stories.
Yeah. Speaking of Best Score, was it Best Score or Best Song? Where the guy got played off. The guy tried to speak, and they just
that was Best Song.
Best Song.
That was pretty egregious. Where they just kind of like really because they were there was a lot of playoffs. There was even that moment where the mic started to go down, and then they cut to Conan, and they kind of came back up. But fucking Adrian Brody talked for fucking 7 minutes last year. You can let the guy who wrote Golden talk. The spoilers for what won that, but one person talk. There's 5 people on the stage. One person talk for 1 minute. You can't let the other guy say a couple things. It's frustrating, because it's a lot easier to play somebody off when you're going from one person to the next person, just rather than in the middle of their speech. So I was a little frustrated by that. I know that the awards went very long, but have a little less Barbara Streisand singing about herself when she should be paying a tribute to Robert Redford, and a little more time for the nominees to celebrate their wins.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing about the Best Song getting played off. It was notable for me just because of how horrendous it was in the moment, but also it harkened back to when the song from Once won. And I think they played off the female singer in that movie. I forget her name, but I remember they played her off. And I believe after they came back from commercial, they actually let her come back on and say whatever she wanted to say.
Nice. I vaguely remember something like that. So yeah. You want to go down these in order that they were announced? I think that could be a fun way to do it. Sure.
Yeah. So let's go through here. I actually just pulled up the 98th awards, and I don't think you're on the wiki, right? With me on the, I sent you the same link.
I'm on the
here.
Wiki. I also, I got the list that they announced up on EW.
Okay.
So thanks, Entertainment Weekly, for coming through for me.
Do they have in the same order as the wiki, or?
No, because this is the announcement order. The wiki is just, I think, in terms of prestige.
Do you want to send me that link real quick so we can read off the same thing?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, the first one was Best Supporting Actress.
Yes.
And
so we got that
the next one is the animated features.
Okay.
So Best Animated Best Animated Feature, and then Short right after that, because they kind of do them in 2 blocks with a lot of these.
Gotcha. You 1 second. Just trying to get this in the same browsing window. Okay, I'll just put it over here. Okay. Let me do. Oh, just flash across the Kumail moment. Definitely want to talk about that.
Yes, me too, for sure. That was a great moment.
Yeah. Sorry, where does it? Oh, you're just saying it has the in order. Okay. So yeah, supporting it, then animated. All right, we can go to animated. Animated, best animated feature.
Best animated feature.
With the Matt Berry voice.
That's my Matt Berry.
There you go.
Sigourney Weaver.
Tucson, Arizona. Let's see.
Denzel Washington.
Best animated feature nominees were Arco, Elio, Little Amelie, and Zootopia 2. The only one I haven't seen is Arco and Zootopia 2. I talk about the Little Amelie that I saw earlier.
And K-pop Demon Hunters, of course.
And K-pop Demon Hunters. Those were the nominated films. And the winner was K-pop Demon Hunters. That was fun. I think Maggie King went up there to accept it, or was it Michelle Wong? I forget who actually went up there.
I do not know off the top of my head. But yeah, it was really cool to see that win, because I'm a huge fan of that movie. I'm really glad it's going in the Criterion Collection. The Film Bros can shut the fuck up about complaining about that. But it was really cool to see that, and I love the speech that the presenter gave, saying that we've waited. There's not basically saying there's not been a lot of representation where people, characters like this exist in film that look like us, like Koreans. And now the next generation will not have to wait any longer. I thought it was a really cool speech and a cool moment that she gave there.
Yes, absolutely. We both picked that, and we were both right. So we were 1 for 1 for the night so far. Yeah. Next up in the list.
Well, how did we do on Best Supporting Actress? Did we get that one right?
I did. Yes. I don't know. Did you have any as well?
I don't have it up. I don't have it up. I can try and find my predictions.
Sure. Yeah. While you're doing that, I'll say Best Animated Short is next. I haven't seen any of these, as I usually don't. Again, trying to get more active in my local community art house thing. I know they were showing all the shorts there as well, so I definitely wanted to check that out next year at some point. But the nominees were Butterfly, Forever Green, Retirement Plan, Three Sisters, and The Girl Who Cried Pearls. My pick was Retirement Plan. I had they have an app that I pulled up and just selected some of them. All the ones I didn't see, just sort of guessed fully. Do you want to say announce the winner of this one?
Yeah, go for it.
It was The Girl Who Cried Pearls. So good job to them. Did you find the list of your predictions?
I did, and I had Tiana Taylor winning supporting actress. So
that's right.
That's
you
one
mentioned
got
that
on me.
Yeah. All right. But live action, animated short, Girl Who Cried Pearls. Yes, that took that one. Next up, we have.
Then it was costume, and then costume design was next.
Yes. Yep. Best costume design nominees are Frankenstein, Avatar: Fire and Ash, Hamnet, Mighty Supreme, and Sinners. I just got to laugh for a second at best costume design from Avatar being in the same category. I get it that, you know, they were motion captured and they are wearing the costumes. And so there was, you know, an actual production costume designer there. But it is just generally a funny thing to see an animated movie in the same lineup as, you know, live action stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, it's mostly
Yes,
a live action movie. There's some mocap, but it's not like, you know, Edie Falco was on set wearing a fucking mech suit or whatever. I don't know if he was actually wearing a mech suit, but
power loader, sir, power loader.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes, of course. She was carrying that coffee cup. I don't know if she still had it in this one, but she wasn't that second one.
They have coffee on Pandora, apparently.
Yeah.
So
they're bringing it in. All right. They're terraforming.
Winner went to Frankenstein, which, yeah, I was like, yeah, good. It was.
Yeah.
It was the year that I feel like a lot of the awards went to the most visual effects and most editing and a lot of things went to this. Not to spoil the upcoming ones, but I feel like that was a theme of the award show tonight. I don't know if you got that idea.
I'm happy it won, though. I think it was incredible, immaculate costume design. Like, I remember, like, they do the little montages of, like, all the best ones. And once again, it's all just Best Picture nominees, of course, because, you know, and then Avatar, I guess, snuck in, former Best Picture nominee, you know?
Yes.
But then it's like, I see all these incredible, immaculate designs, and then it's like, and here's Timothée Chalamet wearing a V-neck. And I'm like, okay, like, this fucking better not win. Like, it better, okay, good, Frankenstein, yeah, Mia Goth, whatever the fuck she's wearing, give her the, like, there's Del Toro can design some, like, his movies and look immaculate. So I was very, very glad to see that.
Yeah, I had for this category Ruthie Carter for Sinners. But yeah, I'm not sure what you had over there.
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't think this was one we originally said we were gonna do. Correct. So I did not put it down on the doc.
Let's see. Yeah, she did. I'm trying to find 2 Academy Awards. Yeah, she had the Academy Awards for Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. So I thought maybe she would continue that streak. Moving on to makeup and hair design. For nominees are Frankenstein, Kokuo, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, and The Ugly Stepsister. I really like The Ugly Stepsister just as a movie in general. I don't know if people listening have seen that film, but it's a really amazing body horror movie. So that was my pick for this one, and the winner went to Frankenstein. So Frankenstein picked up 2 of the production awards so far.
Yeah, you know, right back to back, you know, same presenter with those. So I was out, and for the same reasons I was glad to see to get costume, getting makeup and hairstyling. It looked really good. You know, you're mixing the historical stuff with the fantastical. You know, the creature looks so good. He's done in so many different ways. There are people on that boat that are looking like salty sea dogs, but then you've got like Victorian high society at the same time. So I thought this was well deserving of this. One of the best looking movies I've seen in a long time. Both with makeup and with costume design.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
And maybe some other stuff, as we'll get to later.
Maybe. All right, next up we have Best Casting. Nominees were One Battle After Another, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Secret Agent, and Sinners. I picked the winner, which went to One Battle After Another, and it was a very, very momentous occasion because this award went to, you know, for the first time. This is the first time this award has been
first ever award. Yeah,
first ever award for this, and first ever. So it's, you know, first winner, but first winner went to Cassandra Kulakundis, and, you know, female casting director, which is always nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, I will say there are a lot of female casting directors for whatever reason. Maybe like one of those things where it's one of the jobs that, you know, people get shunted with in Hollywood. If you're a woman, 4 out of the 5 nominees were women. You know, so but it's always really good to see women working in the industry. And yeah, this, like I said, it's the first time this award has ever been given. I called this one correctly as well.
Oh, very nice. All right. Oh, that's very funny. I kind of just searched the wiki and I had all the presenters down at the bottom there.
Oh, well, there
Oopsie
you go.
Doopsies. All right. Best live action short, like we mentioned, was announced. And the nominees were The Singers, Two People Exchanging Saliva, Butcher Stain, A Friend of Dorothy, and Jane Austen's period drama. Just like with the other shorts, I have not seen any of these, but I did look them up. And there was an actress from a movie I saw a couple of years ago. Actress's name is, let's see. Well, Vicky. Oh, speaking of Vicky Creeps, we were talking about her last time of being like
I remember seeing her on I was like, oh, hey, there she is.
There she is. Yeah, exactly. This short also starred Zara Amir Abarami, and she was in a movie I really enjoyed a few years ago called The Girl and the Spider. So if anybody, I think that was also nominated for Best International a few years ago. So that was nice to see her up there as well. So this is the one Camille presented. I love the joke that Conan did right before this.
I was going to mention it if you didn't. It was a perfect joke.
He said, now presenting live action short, Camille is a person who has the body of a Marvel superhero and the voice of a Marvel collector. What did he say? It was a Marvel figurine collector? Or something like that?
A Marvel comics reader, I think is what he said.
And
Camille was like, that is accurate. I did not. I heard a little. I didn't know he was going to say that.
Yep.
But yeah. And then, of course, first Oscar tie in 10 years. And I thought Kumail handled that very, very well, where he was like, all right, this is a tie. This is not a joke. He just talked everyone through it. He's like, I'm going to announce one winner. They're going to come up. They're going to do the thing. And then, so he handled it all very, very well, put in a tough, difficult spot after taking a real zinger and managed to handle it completely. Gave both of, in a show where people were not getting their due time, he managed to give both sets of winners their due time, which was nice.
It was really well handled. I wonder after, was it 2016 or 2017, whatever year the La La Land fiasco happened, I wonder, not just like producers, but like people that are presenting are like, guys, whatever happens, we're just going to go with it. I don't give a shit. We're going to figure this out. We're not going to have another La La Land Moonlight fiasco. We're just going to do this. We're going to trudge ahead. Yeah. What was I going to say about this? Really want to see these movies. They'll look really good. Thought that I was saying something else. But yeah, Camille handed it. I was just going to say that, yeah, they mentioned that on the Big Pick today as I'm a stat boy, but I'm also a, podcast obsessive. So I listened to that episode as soon as it dropped. And they also mentioned how well, like you said, how well he handled it. Definitely maybe puts him at the top of a list for hosting the thing if Conan doesn't want to come back next year. Yeah.
I could see him doing a very good job hosting. Honestly.
Yes. All right. Next up, we have Best Supporting Actor. Let me see if we can find it here.
Yeah, I've got it if you want me to go through it. I got it up.
Oh, yep, I got it here. Best Actor in a Supporting Role. Nominees were Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Jacob Elordi, Delroy Lindo, and Stellan Skarsgård. Let me see if I can pull up because I have the document from the last time we talked and did our predictions for who should win and will win. Best Supporting Actor could be Stellan for no particular reason, I said. So that did not happen, unfortunately. The winner for Best Supporting...
what happened was my prediction, which said would happen, came through. Yes, I did call this one correctly.
Winner was Sean Penn. Yeah, Sean Penn, who could not be there and or didn't want to, as Kieran Culkin rightly said.
That was very good. That was another really great moment. The Kieran Culkin just kind of zinger work. Because it's just like Sean Penn didn't bother to show up. I guess he's in Ukraine or something.
He is.
But he was at the Golden Globes chain smoking apparently, and that's the only. So it was just kind of one of those moments where it was like, nobody really wanted you to win. You won. You weren't there. Great. Let's move on. Yeah.
We'll talk later about like the totals for each movie. This is the first one, I believe, that we just mentioned today for One Battle After Another.
For One Battle.
Yes.
Yeah. So I predicted there would be a lot of dominance in this one. Obviously, I thought that would extend to supporting actresses as well. But I'll just, spoiler alert, this is not the last Oscar that this one is going to win.
No, not at all. All right, next up we have Best Adapted Screenplay. Nominees were One Battle After Another, Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, and Train Dreams. This was just my personal pick was Train Dreams. I really liked that script. Or no, what did I say? I know I liked the script. No, the one I went for the heart was Best Original for Blue Moon. I believe I probably picked this one. I'm not sure. It was one of them. Writing.
There's no way to know. It's
There's no
lost
way
to the
to know.
sands of
I
time.
was like, no, actually, I have it written down here. If this is live, this is video, I could prove it. But I said will and should one battle for PTA, and that's what did win. PTA won his, I want to say his first writing screenplay award ever.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I know because he's been chasing that Oscar, So it was really good to see him win this. I predicted this as well. I think this was going to come down to these Oscars. I think everybody kind of knew one battle was probably the favorite, but with Sinners closely behind. So we had a feeling that those would kind of split because they were nominated in opposite screenplay categories. So far, the script was staying true to form of what we expected with this one, and as it should. This was an incredible screenplay. We talked about it in our predictions. Loosely adapted from Vineland, but making it much more, of a film, much more of something that is poignant for today.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's well said. Just pulling up Mr. PTA's Wikipedia here. Yeah, this is his first time winning for screenplay. He was nominated 98 and 2000 for original screenplay for Boogie Nights and Magnolia. He was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay for There Will Be Blood and Inherent Vice, and original screenplay for Licorice Pizza. But yeah, first win for screenplay.
Yeah, congratulations to PTA.
Yes, indeed. So that was best adapted screenplay. Next is best original screenplay. Nominees were Sinners, Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, and Sentimental Value. My pick was Blue Moon. Like I said, will and should. Did not go to Blue Moon. It went to Sinners. Ryan Coogler, Sinners. I believe that is first.
Will and should from me. So yes,
nice. That's good. Nice pick there. That was the first win of the night there. I think. Not to spoil that, but Ryan Coogler gives great acceptance speeches. I think everyone knows that by now, that he's picked up a few awards this season. He's always very gracious.
Yeah, he was great. It was great to see him win. So very happy for him. And like I said, yeah, this kind of sets up the showdown of one battle versus Sinners. This kind of these two. Each of them now have won a screenplay Oscar. I'm very happy to see Ryan Coogler won his first here, because he's made some incredible films. So yeah, now the table is set. Who's it going to be, Sinners or One Battle?
There we go. Let's find out. First up, we have Best Production Design. Nominees were Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. I think with stuff like this, I always go back to 2019, where Once Upon a Time in Hollywood won, and I was like, what? Why is that? So every year after that, I'm always going like, all right, maybe it'll just be like a subtle thing, because I was also remember from that year, 1917 winning Best Visual Effects. So every those wins got stuck in my craw. So from then on, I'm always looking at like the least production design, or most subtle production design and stuff like that. So with that said, I think my pick was, let me see here. Why don't you tell me your pick while I find mine, if you have it?
Yeah, so production design, I don't think I do, because that was not one we had planned on going over.
Mine again. Mine pick was Marty Supreme, going back to the Once Upon a Time win, but the actual winner was Frankenstein, picking up its third production award of the evening.
Yeah, which this is what I was alluding to earlier. This is the other one I was saying it looked so good, because there's all these. Del Toro made a boat. He went out and like made everything as like authentic as incredible. He tried to make it like an old school movie. The production design on this thing is absolutely immaculate, going hand in hand with those other Oscars that we mentioned, the costuming and the makeup, to make this just truly a real just a weirdo beautiful movie. That only Del Toro can make, where it's like got these beautiful monsters in this old timey setting, and you just feel like you've really stepped into the past, into a little bit of a fantasy while you're watching it. So was very happy to see this win.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully studios keep giving him money to make movies like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I just actually talked about him on my next episode of Underrated. Talk about Nightmare Alley, which is the last movie that he makes in the regular studio system. He makes it with Fox Searchlight, which is obviously kind of like the indie arm of Disney at this point. And they don't let him release it in black and white like he wants to. And then after that, he just makes movies at Netflix. And it seems like Netflix will give him a lot more creative freedom, as they will with a lot of these auteurs that they work with. So I think that's the reason that he's made his last either 3 or 4 movies with Netflix, is because he is allowed to make these big, bombastic, weird choices and win Oscars for them.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We got Best Visual Effects. Nominees were Avatar, Fire and Ash, F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, and Sinners. And I believe from our discussion last time, you said Jurassic World Rebirth, right?
That was my should win.
Okay.
My will win was Sinners, but might not have been right because people who are listening might notice, Damian is reading these off the Wikipedia, which means he's always winning the winners first. So that's a hint of what's going to win.
Little bit of a hint. Yeah, the winner was Avatar, Fire, and Ash. Again, I think it speaks to a little bit of the Academy be like, ooh, shiny. I know James Cameron. I know Avatar looks good, looks fancy. We'll give that the award.
I will say, spoiler: Avatar does have some pretty good visual effects. James Cameron is doing some pretty impressive, groundbreaking stuff. I don't know that this is that much more groundbreaking than the last Avatar movie, but hey, you know what? He is like putting 1,000,000 dots on Zoe Saldana and having her stand next to a volcano or whatever, and like a green screen, and it looks like a real volcano. So yeah, I get why this won. I'm not upset about it.
Yes. Yeah.
Although I would have loved Sinners to win, or Jurassic World, but you know what? Hey, nothing wrong with. And look at all the whales, all those digital whales. I love those guys.
Flying whales, aerial whales.
Yeah. They're regular whales. They're water whales, but they jump. Whales. Sometimes they jump.
Yeah.
They jump.
What were the things that flew? Weren't they like flying creatures?
There's like jellyfish guys that like David Wallace was hanging out around. Yeah, the whales were. They're like a. At one point, Jake Sully calls one of the whales a wild card.
That's right. I remember that.
Or loose cannon. That's what he calls him. He's like, that whale is a loose cannon. Payakan is a loose cannon.
A rogue.
I was like, this movie fucking so dumb. I love it.
All right, moving on to Best Documentary Short. All right, here we go. Nominees were Perfectly Restrainedness, The Devil is Busy, Children No More, Armed Only with a Camera, The Life and Death of Brent Renaud, and All the Empty Rooms. I have not seen any of these. I think Perfectly Restrainedness is on Canopy. I might check this out tonight. But the winner went to All the Empty Rooms, which is a film about children's rooms that are left empty after school shootings. So yeah, really, really heartfelt speech there after this win.
Yeah, the mother of one of the victims, was brought on stage and gave her speech. And I was like, they're not playing her off, So it was really powerful. Moment that I'm really glad she was awarded that time, because it's a really important issue that's it's fortunately more and more pressing all the time here in the U.S. So yeah, glad this one got the recognition it deserved.
Yeah. And the Best Documentary Feature Film nominees were The Perfect Neighbor, Cutting Through Rocks, Come See Me in the Good Light, The MML Solution, and Mr. Nobody Against Putin. I really wanted to see The Perfect Neighbor. It's on Netflix. It is a true crime movie, but I heard it's a really well made one of those. But the winner went to Mr. Nobody Against Putin. I really liked the acceptance speech there, where they had the actual guy on stage and they had a translator for him. So yeah, good win for this one.
Yeah, there was another. Those were kind of back-to-back moments of like heavy moments, but really important speeches. Where as the documentaries are bringing up some real stuff that happens in the world, and his speech about what's happening in Russia, but what's also thinly veiled, saying like what is also happening in America and about the creeping totalitarian state was really impactful, I thought.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, moving on to Best Original Score. Nominees were Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, Begonia, and Sinners. Let me check the other doc if I had to pick here. It's not on the doc, but I believe, let me go back here. Let's see. I think I probably said One Battle. Yes, I know I did, because I really like that score. Derek, do you have a dog in this race, as it were?
I mean, like I said, I think my favorite score was honestly the Nine Inch Nails Trent Reznor Atticus
That's right.
Ross
You said that,
from
yeah.
Tron 2. But yeah, and yeah, these are all, I like all these composers, Richter, Desplat, Greenwood, and Goranson. Goranson's won a bunch recently, so I was like, well, maybe give it to somebody else.
Hmm.
And I was kind of like with Hammond, I was like, okay, Max, you're using the same song that you've used in the
Yeah.
last five movies.
Yep.
It's like Ultra Lord with Sheen. But I would have. I'm really happy any of the way that this broke.
Yeah, and the winner went to Ludwig Göransson for Sinners. It was, if you look
Mhm.
at it from the perspective of what he had to do, kind of mixing and melding all of these different song types, all these different genres. And I think he did a really good job.
Yeah, absolutely. And he gave a really cool speech about him. The guitar opening so many things up to him in his life, and I talked about how great that kind of montage is, where it's swirling between the past and the future and all these different musical styles. So it was really cool. And somebody who first came to my attention because he did the score, the opening theme song slash score for The Mandalorian,
Yeah.
and since then he's won 3 or 4 Oscars. So yeah, he's one of the best working right now for sure. So he does definitely earn this Oscar.
Yes, absolutely. Moving on to Best Sound. Nominees were Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Surratt, and F1. I'll just say quickly, I'll get more detail later, but I saw Surratt recently, and it was exceptionally. It sounds good. Let's say it's an amazing
Mhm.
sounding film. The winner went to F1. Again, speaking of Oscars from 2019. Yeah, 2019 was the year of Ford v Ferrari, right? Or is that 2018? Somewhere around then.
Yeah, 2019 that movie would have come out, I think.
Yes, I believe that also took it that year. So another year.
Yeah, and
Another,
that's something I
yeah.
said where I was like, yeah, these car sound movies, I think the Transformers movies won a lot of these, making these mechanical car sounds tends to win this Oscar, so I think I called this one right as well.
Nice, nice. All right, moving on to I don't know if I have it pulled up. I got this app and all the apps. Everybody needs to get together and put all of the categories in the same order because every app, every website has them in different order. Let's just say I picked it right. Let's say I picked it correctly. Film
Okay.
editing. Yes, it's my show. I can do
Let's just
that.
say.
Let's just say for the sake of it, best film editing nominees were F1, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and One Battle After Another. This is the second win for One Battle After Another. Andy Jurgensen, his first nomination and first win. Very young guy. I guess PTA switched editors after his last film, and nobody seems to know why, but worked out for him tonight or last night.
Yeah, I mean, this is always like a weird category,
Yeah,
so it's sometimes it's just like you say with other things, it's the most editing, but
yeah.
this is kind of showed you maybe the winds are blowing in a particular direction.
It could be, yes. That could be. Let me see. All right, moving on. Best cinematography, one of my favorite categories to discuss. Nominees were, let me see if I pull it up. Where is it?
Getting into the big ones now.
The big ones, exactly. Nominees were Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, Sinners, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams. This is another one where my personal favorite was Train Dreams, Alfonso Veloso. But the award actually went to Sinners for Autumn Durald Arkapaw, the another female winner here of the night, first female winner of the cinematography award, which is always nice to see.
Yeah, yeah. No woman had never won this award before, as Conan later pointed out. So it was really cool to see that. The film industry is opening up a little bit, and obviously, there was so many African American nominees through Sinners, which is a film that celebrates all kinds of people of color, but especially African American people. And yeah, the cinematography on this thing looks incredible. There's some stuff at golden hour. There's a lot of stuff where they're shooting it, and it's supposed to be, I don't know if it's day for night or how they did it, but it looks amazing. A lot of the vampire like just stuff like looks so good. The fires, the huge barn on fire and people on fire, and it all looks so good. So this is a well deserved award.
It really is. Yeah. A lot of those shots reminded me of shots that we would see later this year in 28 years later, the Bone Temple of another barn being burned in the background. And yeah, just like that one, I would love to see a behind the scenes making of featurette. You know, it's a thing we've lost in the digital age of featurettes being on DVDs. I would love to see a behind the scenes featurette of how they actually shot, you know, that thing burning to the ground while they're doing some pretty intense acting and all that stuff in the foreground. So would love to know how that stuff was actually done. Yeah. Moving on, we have Best International Feature. This and Best Actor and Best, this and Best Actor I think were the two tightest ones, and some of the best two categories we've had in a very long time.
Right. We did not know which way this was going to go because we had two Best Picture nominees in this category.
We did. The nominees were It Was Just an Accident, The Secret Agent, Surat, The Voice of Henry Job, and Sentimental Value. Yeah, like I said, I just got up with Surat, so the only one I have yet to see is The Voice of Henry Job. Tough sit, as they say, so that's why I've been avoiding it. The award went to Sentimental Value. Really nice to see Joachim Trier being awarded. I think he's a guy that's been around for a long time. Like I said, after Worst Person in the World, I went back and watched pretty much all of his previous work, and he's now one of my favorite directors, so it was really nice to see him pick up this award.
Yeah, no, honestly, glad to see that for him. I know he's really one of your guys. So, yeah. And this is a movie I enjoyed. I only saw this in Secret Agent, but I think between the two of them, this one I did prefer a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's the first. Speaking of historical precedents, I think this is the first international feature to go to Sweden or Norway, however you want to say it. Norwegian.
Yeah, those award. Are two different countries, but okay.
The first, well, it has on here. Even it has the best international feature. Norway, yes. So first feature gone to Norway. It has Norwegian, Swedish, and there's just the languages. I thought that meant like something else. Anyways, let's moving on to best original song. Nominees were some other songs and Also Golden. Dear me, Diane Warren. I like
Diane Warren back again. She's always here, and now she made a movie about herself. They didn't let her play it at the Oscars, and she got pissed.
Yeah. Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verde. I leaned over to my friend who was watching it with, and I was like, that's not a real movie. That's a fake movie. Nobody's heard of that. Train Dreams from Train Dreams, and Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters, which obviously went to Golden. Up, we're going Golden. Gotta make Golden. Mm-hmm.
Whoa, you got a voice of an angel, Damian. Was that Diane Warren there, or was that Damian? I couldn't tell.
Who knows? Nobody can tell these days. What did you think? Speaking of, let's pivot to a little bit of the performances. They did perform Golden here. Tell me, before I tell you what I thought of it, which was not super celebrative, what did you think of the performance of this?
I thought it was good. I thought it was fun. It was a fun K-pop performance. Like I said, this is the first time a K-pop song has ever won this category. I love this song. I don't even know if it's my favorite song from K-Pop Demon Hunters. There's some real bangers in that. I mean, it wasn't the performance of I'm Just Ken. Nothing's ever going to reach those heights. I thought it was good. I guess you don't agree, though.
I think it was pretty stilted. I think they cut it down a bit. I thought, I know they're not actual K-pop stars. They're not trained in that way, so I get that they're not going to have.
Well, they kind of are becoming some now, So
well, that's
they've done some live performances of this.
That's what I mean. It's just sort of could be more energetic, could be more something. I don't know. I mean, she definitely nailed that stuff live. I feel like somebody else was saying this too, where they kind of raised the background mix a bit just to make sure that she sounded good. But yeah. Yeah, good. I'm always down to listening to that song and seeing it perform, but yeah, I think it was one of the weaker versions live I've seen. Yeah.
All right. Well, whatever you say. I mean, I'm just glad I didn't have to listen to another Diane Warren weepy song.
Right. All right. One of the big ones coming up now. We got Best Director. Bum bum bum.
This one is a big one, and maybe I was like, who knows? It's going to come down to a couple people. This might be a big indication of how the night's going to go.
Yes, we won't spoil if it was or wasn't. But the nominees were, let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, I need to put this shit in order. Where did it go? Near the top here. But okay. Nominees were Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, Ryan Coogler for Sinners, and Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. It went to Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. Mr. Sean Fennessy was so happy. He was like, since he was a kid, he's always loved. This guy has been his favorite guy. This has been his favorite director. So he was ecstatic to see him win. I was like, yeah, good on him. Glad he finally got one. probably.
Yeah, no,
I don't. We can talk about.
It's shared by a lot of film guys. And
yes.
Hey, I am also very happy for him.
Yeah, I am too. It's just I'm glad he got it. I'm glad it wasn't like, I don't know, Spielberg. I think. I'm not sure how old he was when he got it for Schindler's List. But yeah, this is the best director and best actor and best, not necessarily actress, but a lot of the big ones tend to go to folks, later in their career. The Academy doesn't prefer to award the big awards to people early in their career, so they definitely made him wait in a certain way. It's also one of those awards that will go to like. I think he was up for the closest he got was, the There Will Be Blood year going up against No Country for Old Men. Again, another slobber knocker that year. But yeah, definitely glad to see him finally get it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting because it's very much the tables turned from that year where it's like, he's the young guy going up against the old master. And now he's kind of the old master going up against Coogler. And it's like, well, do the Academy give it to him? Like, these are obviously both great director performances. Like I said, when we did our predictions, I was like, this is really a toss up for me. And I ended up splitting it where I was like, I think I'll just say Will would be a PTA, should be Ryan Coogler, but you could flip that honestly. And yeah, so I'm glad he won it. I hope that now I feel like we're going to get Coogler 15 years later. He's going to make some other thing. That's the way these things always go. But this was in no way like a makeup or anything like that. This is an incredible movie and incredible direction from PTA.
Absolutely. All right. Best actor in a leading role. I was at the edge of my seat, literally watching this in the theater.
Yeah, this one, like you said, this one is really the one that could have gone anyway.
Anyway, yes. Nominees were Timothée Chalamet, Marty Supreme, Leo DiCaprio, One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke, Blue Moon, Wagner Moura, Secret Agent, and Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. It did, in fact, go to Michael B. Jordan, and the place exploded when his name was announced. Really, really happy for him. He's been in people's lives for a long time. I'd never watched Friday Night Lights, but apparently he was very good on that show. Very early on, Fruitvale Station, which I checked out fairly the last couple of years. Yes, very, very happy for his win here.
Yeah, no, he was great. It was great to see that his win. He had a really good speech where he thanked a lot of great people that came before him and also Will Smith. But yeah, so it was really cool to see him because like he's so great in these dual roles. I would have loved to see Wagner Moura win or Leo win again because like Leo took forever to win and he was so good in One Battle, but not. I think Michael B. Jordan, like he really earned this, twice over, honestly.
Yes, yeah, and really great speech, really, humble and very gracious, and yeah, one of the great speeches of all time, I would say. Just based on its like, brevity compared to Adrian Brody last year.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Really nailed
it. Brody, who came back and we were kind of like, oh, and he did some kind of that's like, yeah, he took forever last year. He fucking threw his gum, so he just disgustingly ate it this time. Yep. But yeah, so it was kind of like, get this guy off the stage. And I was very happy to see Michael B. Jordan come up onto the stage.
Absolutely. Best actress in a leading role. Nominees were Kate Hudson, Sung Sung Blue, Rose Byrne, If I Had Legs I'd Kick You, Renata Rydzev, Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone, Begonia. Just want to say, I didn't really take in.
I don't think you said the way. I think you left off one person.
Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. Yes.
Yes.
Very eclectic group. I know we talked about in recent years how more diverse the Academy is, and it's how it's shaken out, and how that diversity has shown in the Best Picture nominations is really shown in the sort of genre stuff too. Frankenstein and Everything Ever Once winning a few years ago. Really seeing a lot of genre inclusions in the Best Picture, but also in Best Actress here. We have Begonia, sci-fi movie. If I Had Legs to Kick You, a very sort of weird kinetic movie there, sort of a Josh Safdie type movie there. Very cool eclectic group here. But yeah, the award did end up going to Jessie Buckley, who, not a big surprise, this is the opposite of the Best Actor group there. Buckley had won pretty much everything beforehand, but it was still, she's always been, again, gracious, and she did that thing where they put their hands over their face, and she's always been very emotional. And yeah, I like the Irish folk. I have some Irish in me. I was talking to a guy that comes into my work pretty often and telling him that she was probably going to win as well. So yeah, really glad to see her take this.
No, she's great. I'm a huge fan of hers, both as an actress and as somebody I have a major crush on. So like she's great, and I obviously didn't love Hamnet, but I thought she was phenomenal in it. And she's doing a very showy, very Academy Award-y kind of performance that I usually don't like, but I thought she absolutely nailed it. So it was clear that it's like, yeah, she should and would win. She was obviously my picks for both should and would, and I'm really glad for her. This is her first win. And I'm sure she has much more ahead of her, because she is phenomenal. Just really been a rising star in the last few years.
Yes. Yep. I've enjoyed a lot of stuff. I think I first saw her in, I'm Thinking of Ending Things, in like 2020, like deep pandemic. Yeah. All right. We got one more. Best.
All right. You got to do these in alphabetical order, like they do on the show.
Let's see if I could do that off the top of my dome. Actually, no. Wait a second. Is it in? It is actually in the alphabetical order in the wiki here. Okay, I can do that. Begonia nominees are for Best Picture. Nominees are Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Train Dreams, and One Battle After Another. I think that was not in alphabetical order, so that kind of ruined it. But here we are.
There's one. I think there's one in there that it was out of alphabetical order. We'll see how it goes. So. Yeah,
we'll see where it goes. The Best Picture went to One Battle After Another, the most dominant movie. Yeah, most dominant movie in Academy, most dominant movie in award season history. Won every single precursor, so it would have been the biggest upset in Academy Awards history if Sinners had pulled it out, but it didn't. It actually went to One Battle After Another, one of the best movies of last year. Very happy to see it win. Yeah, pretty much. We've been talking about this for 9 years, so I am a lot of things to say about One Battle After Another. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, this is an incredible movie. We talked about it when it came out, and leading up to this, it's a really deserving win for this. Just across the board, great acting, great directing, great screenplay. Prescient for our time, but feels absolutely timeless at the same time. So yeah, there's no reason that, other than the fact that Sinners was really good, that this shouldn't win. I think we all kind of knew it was going to win. I think there was a contingency of people hoping for Sinners. I would not have been upset by that, but this really deserved it, and it's about time that PTA won his damn Oscar.
Absolutely. Speaking of shows going long, I forgot that we have a whole nother segments to do. Talk about movies, and we're already at the hour mark here.
Yeah, we can speed run that or not sure. Do it. It's up to you.
Yeah, no, we can do a little bit of it. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that was the 98th Academy Awards. Any other final closing thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool to see this One Battle win all these Oscars. I mean, we talked about at the beginning how Sinners and One Battle were so nominated. In the end, it ended up being the final totals, films with multiple wins. Just to tally everything up, K-pop Demon Hunters won both of its Oscars. Frankenstein won 3, as we mentioned. Sinners of the 16 won 4, and One Battle of the 13 won 6. So just wanted to shout those movies out. So the love was spread a little bit around, but it was really mostly between those two movies, with Frankenstein and K-pop picking up some of the technical / down ballot awards. And also I will say that for the most part, other than it really taking me out at the very end, the tribute section really got to me, where they listed off the the people that we've lost over this past year. That's always a impactful segment, but we really have lost some incredible greats this year. They started with that whole segment to Rob Reiner, and they had a lot of his past collaborators come out, and then you have that kind of that part in the middle about Diane Keaton, and Catherine O'Hara, and then it ended with one of my all-time favorites, one of the great directors to ever live, Robert Redford. Was getting a little bit misty-eyed before Barbra Streisand kind of ruined that, but I was very moved by most of that, and just seeing all the names, so many people that we've lost over this year, like all just legends like Terrence Stamp, Drew Struzan, Roger Allers, just like all these, like, there's so many, and that I could just sit here and list that we've lost, that we've talked about a lot on this show. So it was an emotional moment for me, for sure.
Yeah, I loved the Rachel McAdams. Speaking of her from Send Help, did an amazing homage to Diane. Diane, what's her name? Diane Keaton. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Very well done. Yeah. All right. So that is the 90th Oscars, and we are already ramping up for next year, probably.
yeah. I mean, there's already one movie, if not two, that I think will be on my top 10 of the year that I've seen.
Okay. Did you see it? Did you see him this week, or you saw him a couple weeks ago? Did you already talk about him?
There's one that is the one that's a maybe is this week. The one that's almost a definitely was before that.
Okay. All right. So moving on to stuff we've watched this week. What we've been watching this week. Like I said, I checked out the Oscar-nominated animated film Amélie, or the character of Rain. This is a French movie, French animated independent film. I really liked it a lot. It has sort of that painterly animated stuff that I think we saw in Flow. If you like Flow, I would highly recommend checking this out. It's 78 minutes. Let me see. It is rentable right now, so I'd highly recommend checking that out. It's a lovely little family-friendly animated film.
Very nice. Very nice. You'll love it. A nice film like that.
Nice little film. Yeah. Speaking of nice little films, you have your one on here, so we'll hop over to you and talk about Hoppers, the movie I also saw just today. This is directed by Daniel Chong, starring Piper Curda, Bobby Moynihan, and John Hamm. This is the newest Pixar film. Last one was Elio, which I quite enjoyed. Did you enjoy that as well?
Yeah, I liked Elio quite a bit.
Yeah. This also had music by Mark Mothersbaugh. I was never really aware of what that person did, but they were in, Devo. Yep, and they did a lot of music for Rugrats and a lot of Nickelodeon shows back in the day. Does music for this as well. I really like this movie. Derick, what'd you think of Hoppers?
I thought this movie was... It's still a Pixar movie. It's still good. It's still a fun time, but I thought this movie was an absolute mess. I thought this was just... it was really devoid of having anything to say. It kind of felt like it was well, everybody's good. So even the evil politicians, except for, there's one person / insect who's actually not good, and we can squish them and it doesn't matter. But hey, you know what? Let's all try to win each other over. And maybe if we're really nice to the evil politicians, they won't destroy the world. And but I mean, it's still a Pixar movie. It's still a lot of fun. It's still doing some weird, innovative, interesting stuff. One of the best looking movies, I will say, that I've seen in quite some time. I liked the way that it kind of is subjective, the way that a lot of these characters look. They're kind of cutesified, and then you will cut back and see the real versions, which I thought was an interesting take. And when somebody else is in one of these, hopper robotic bodies, they kind of take on this different subjective look. They don't literally change looks, but the way we're seeing them is different. I thought was a cool artistic style. And there's also shit happening where there's a guy driving a car and he's being chased by a flock of seagulls that are lifting up a gigantic great white shark to eat him. So I mean, I can't hate a movie like that.
Right. Yeah. They have Vanessa Bayer as the shark, as Diane, but they also have Heidi Klum voices Diane. Character is renamed to Hadi the Shark in the German dub. What does that mean? What the fuck?
I don't know. What are you looking at? I'm looking at Letterboxd.
I'm looking at the wiki.
Okay, well.
Yeah. That's
I
very
see
funny.
Vanessa Bayer as the shark as well. So
Yeah, that's very funny. Yeah, it was
you got to get that info about the German release.
right. I liked it enough. I do agree with what you said about like them, like, oh, we can't squash the human person, but we're fine. We squashed the butterfly person, and also wasn't there another one that got accidentally squashed, and they're like, oh, we need another one of them. Oh,
It's the butterfly. That was the Meryl Streep butterfly.
yeah. So yeah, I don't. They were talking about this on the Fighting in the War Room podcast, and Dave, I think the guy that you did the show with, Dave Gonzalez, had your similar idea of like, maybe we should just squash. Yeah. Maybe we should just squash the politician. Maybe that is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they were like, "Oh, well, we got to convince him it's going to be so we can't kill him," and I was like, "Why not?
Why
Like,
not?
he's awful. He's trying to kill you. You're sentient creatures."
Yeah. I got a little bit of Ants vibes in this too as well, of like, we got to have everybody work together, the whole working together thing against the bad guy, animated with an animated film for kids. Yeah. Yeah, it was
And
was
the
fine.
ending really goes off the fucking rails. Like, the ending just becomes batshit insane, which is not inherently bad.
Yes. All right, so that was Hoppers. I had a not terrible time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to describe this movie. I had a not terrible time. Put that on the poster.
Yeah. Next up, I saw a film that I've been circling for a long time because it is a movie based on John Le Carre book. It is also one of the last, if not the last, performances by Philip Seymour Hoffman, one of my favorite actors of all times. Also, speaking of Rachel McAdams, she's also in this. The movie is A Most Wanted Man, directed by Anton Corbijn. It is about a political refugee in Hungary. Illegally enters Hamburg, Germany, in around the same time. I think it takes place around the same time that it was shot in. So it's a very, it's still post 9/11 because they're still talking about that kind of stuff and bombings and things like that. And it is it's my first 5-star movie. Speaking of movies that you rated highly this year, I love stuff like this. I love Philip Seymour Hoffman. I love spy movies. I love well acted movies. One of my favorites I've seen this year. Not from this year, but movies I've seen this year. So highly recommend checking this out. Streaming right now on Canopy.
Add that to the old Letterboxd watch list.
The old Letterboxd. Going through some filmmakers' filmographies that I'm doing this year. Finally checked out Mr. Spielberg's film from 2018, Ready Player One. And I will not be speaking too much on this because I did not like this very much at all.
Yeah, it was not a good movie.
It's not. My pithy one-line Letterboxd review was, this is the second worst movie with T.J. Miller in it with a main character named Wade. The other being Deadpool. Yes. Funny.
Yeah, I would say this is much worse than Deadpool.
Yeah, much worse than Deadpool. Yeah, not a great film. Going backwards quite a bit, checked out Mr. Spielberg's second film, The Sugarland Express from 1974. It's interesting because this is kind of what a lot of early directors were doing back in the 60s and 70s, with their first movie being about criminals on the run, specifically about a woman played by Goldie Hawn getting her husband out of jail, played by William Atherton, and they go on the run after taking a state trooper hostage. So yeah, really good.
His
one
first
of those.
theatrical film. He had some straight to TV, but this is his first real movie.
First real theatrical
in American cinemas
released film. Yeah, have you seen this?
I have not actually. I have not. There's a lot of early Spielberg that this is before Jaws, so before Spielberg really becomes Steven Spielberg. So I've never gotten to this one.
Yeah, it's really good. Highly recommend checking it out. It's on.
Keep an eye on this Steven Spielberg guy.
Yeah, he might be a guy. He might be a guy to follow.
Yeah. He knows what's interesting in the picture.
He knows how to shoot a film. When he's actually shooting a movie with a camera, as opposed to Ready Player One, where I was watching it, I'm like, this doesn't feel like a Spielberg movie for the first time ever. Like, usually you can watch a movie and be like, yeah, this feels like a Spielberg movie. Even like Minority Report, that's the most kinetic camera work he's probably ever done, but it's still shot amazingly. But yeah, Ready Player One, oof. That's a oof
Yeah,
for me.
that's a swing and a miss there, Steve.
Yeah, unfortunately. Let's go back to you. You checked out Mortal Kombat, the first one.
Yeah, yeah.
From 1995. Did you watch this to get ready for Mortal Kombat 2, really coming later this year?
I mean, partially, I also watched it because I'm going to be doing. Anybody's listening, if you're in Southern California, come to WonderCon, check out my panel because I'm going to be doing a whole thing on how it's called "How Video Game Films Get Good." I can say what it is when it is now. It's going to be Saturday, the 28th at WonderCon in room 308. So I've been doing some research for that, filling in some gaps because I'd never actually seen. I've seen bits and pieces of this. I've seen the sequel. I've seen the new one. Never seen the original one. So I watched this. I also watched it because, hey, you know what? Paul Anderson just won his Oscar, so let's check out one of his early films that I haven't seen, just like you did with Steven Spielberg and Sugarland Express. So I wanted to go check out, one of his early films, this film that really put him on the map, right? But yeah, this movie's not good. It's very cheesy. There's some really bad effects, did not like it, but it's kind of in that same vein as like the Super Mario, as like a Double Dragon of those early video game movies that are not that good, but they're weird and fun and entertaining, and they're just kind of like trying whatever shit because they haven't figured out how to make a video game movie yet.
Yeah, I can't honestly say I've seen this either. I know I probably watched it as a kid or as a teenager, but just leaked out of my brain. Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, who knew what Paul Anderson would go, the heights he would soar to after this movie, right?
Right. I think they did. I think they probably talked about this recently on the Screen Draft. One of the Screen Drafts they did, because I know they did Anderson Month recently, where they did, Paul W. Sanderson, PTA, and what's this guy's name? Just Paul something Anderson?
Paul
right?
W.S. Anderson,
yes,
which is
right.
very confusing.
It is. All right, back to.
But he's credited in the movie, this movie, because this was before there was other famous Paul Anderson directors. It's just Paul Anderson. So I was like, well, that's interesting.
Let's go back to me for a couple. Like I said, I saw one of the best international features that I had not seen yet, which was Surat, directed by Olivier Lax. This is starring Sergei Lopez, Bruno Nuez Aronaha, and Richard Bellamy. This is about a father and son in search of his missing daughter, taking place in and around what seems to be an escalating World War III-like event. This is very much like, people partying in the desert, sort of like a Burning Man, or one of those type of situations, but in Morocco. So you have totally dispersed and disparate cultures and types of people. You have Arab people and French-speaking people and Americans and British and all this stuff. So it's like where and when is this taking place? But yeah, one of the things that people probably know about this movie is it's very, music based. The score is incredible. The sound is incredibly mixed. I grew up and still love going back to EDM and techno. So that really did a lot for me for this movie. Listen to it with noise canceling headphones, and would recommend. It's let me see how many minutes, 114 minutes, but it really moves. It really, really, really is one of those movies that is a completely different movie in the last third. Tonally, music-wise, shot
Tonally and tonally.
Tonally and tonally. Did I say tonally twice?
No, you said tonally and musically, so I was like,
oh, okay. No, I meant like tone as in like the themes and vibes.
I know.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
Yeah. I was doing a thing.
Doing a bit, yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, I cannot. I won't spoil it. I won't say what it is, but the what this movie is about and what you think is going to happen could not prepare you for what happened, for the direction this movie goes in. So I cannot recommend this movie enough. It is it's now in theaters. It's one of those movies that's trickled out to some theaters here and there. It is playing near me, so when I say a movie's playing near me, I can almost be assured that it's going to be playing near most people, because things take a very very long time to get to here.
Yeah, this has been one that I wanted to check out. It was the one, the international feature that I thought might upset one of the ones that was in that category that wasn't nominated for Best Picture. It also was the only one that got nominated for Best Sound that wasn't a Best Picture nominee. So this looks rad as fuck. I need to check it out.
Yeah, it's very good. Another one I checked out that I really wanted to for the last couple of years is called Dead Talents Society, directed by John Shu, starring Chen Bolin, Sanjernine Pina, and Jingle Wayne. There we go, Jingle Wayne. Best way to describe this movie is like Beetlejuice meets what was it? It was Beetlejuice plus Monsters Inc. Yeah, believe it or not, Beetlejuice and Monsters Inc. is the best way to describe this thing, because it's about recently deceased two women who recently died and are living in this world where you have to make money to eat, and to make money you have to scare people. And they're bad at scaring people because they're, just very quiet, very shy people. So they're not really good at scaring people. They get taken under the wing of a much more, talented and very, like a celebrity basically in the other world. So they start, she starts training her, and the woman that trains her haunts a hotel, and it goes on from there. So really interesting concept, really very funny and heartfelt, and would highly recommend this thing. And it's pretty easy to see now that it now dropped on Netflix.
Yeah, I had not heard of this, but sounds intriguing.
It is very intriguing. Let's go back to you. You saw the movie I saw last time. I would love to chat with you about Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. What'd you think of this?
Yeah, I loved this. This is the movie I was alluding to as being like one that might sneak onto my best of the year list. I thought it was just like all these like ridiculous bits, like I really was a fan of Matt Johnson after Blackberry, so I was curious to see what this is. And it's just a movie based on a TV show based on a web series where it just seems like it's these two best friends doing all these dumb bits, and they're kind of blowing it up in the best possible way. Now that they have a budget, now they can make a big theatrical film. It's riffing on Back to the Future, but it's also like it's fourth wall breaking at times. There's small spoilers, but when they time travel back to 2008, and they realize the way that they're in 2008. They go into a screening of The Hangover, and everyone in the theater is laughing at the F slur, and he just kind of looks around like, "Oh no, I'm in 2008. People still think this word is funny." So I really thought it was just so dumb in the smartest possible way. I love a smart dumb movie, and this was absolutely that. It's also just a great movie about male friendship. Like there's all the great bits and everything, and but it's also just like these two dudes love each other, and it was very Canadian in its sensibilities. It was a movie where I could not tell what was scripted and what was actually happening at any point in the movie. But yeah, I really loved it.
Yeah, dude, one of my favorites of the year as well. Just so many moments where you're like, how did they do that in terms of, like you said, is this real? They're obviously talking to some people that are not part of it, where they have a really long lens and you're clearly watching them from far away, and he's just talking to a random person, a random stranger. But then it's like, also, how did they do this in terms of the little bit of the spoiler, a little bit of the narrative, a little bit of the major plot beats of they're jumping off the CN Tower, and there's that part where they're like on it, and they're at I guess it's something where if you're a tourist you can go up, and they'll have you on like a bungee cord and you can walk around it and be outside, and they cut that off and they jump off it. But later on that comes back around where they have to like attach a giant like extension cord to the top of it, and you can see it goes from the top of it down to the street. And clearly there's some CGI shenanigans, but it's also so well done. And it's one of those movies where like, why can't big budget movies look this good, or do this with a bigger budget? Also one of those movies where I watching it and going, man, I should have made something. I should have gotten on the YouTube train a long time ago, because this is something that me and my friends would do back in the day, of just make really stupid videos. But yes, one of my favorite movies of the year so far as well.
Yeah, hard agree for me. And yeah, I love all the ridiculous bits that just keep building and building on each other. Like you said, I would also like to go back and watch the show. Apparently this is done well enough that they're gonna greenlight a season 3, which they started to film years ago, but it never got completed. So yeah, absolutely, I would recommend this to anyone out there because it's so weird, and it's just so interesting and unlike really anything else I've seen in a long time.
Yes. All right, so I got 3 I'm going to go through right now pretty quick. Saw them today in theaters.
Oh, well, we talked about one of them already.
Oh, that's right. So I'll just speed through 2 of them. One of them being Undertone. This is a film about a podcast, a horror podcast. One of them is a cynic. One of them is a believer. Ooh.
What if the podcast was haunted?
Directed by Ian Toussaint, starring Nina Curry and Adam DeMarco. It was fine. I heard a lot about this. It's an A24 horror movie, so it's got that prestige to it. Heard generally positive reviews about it. I don't want to be too harsh on it because it's obviously labor of love. It's obviously, it's made for a very small budget. And, I just think overall, I've said this a million times, I'm a huge horror guy, so I know a lot of the horror beats, but also I've been just inundated with a very similar horror iconography over the years with, so religious stuff and old people just being sick and dying and just a lot of that stuff I think we need to put on the back burner for a little bit. It's so overdone at this point. I wanted to see it in the theater because I heard the sound design was very good. Obviously it's a podcast, so a lot of it is noise based and sound based. So I thought that was going to give some extra oomph to it, but it didn't really because I don't know, maybe it was a theater I saw it in and it wasn't equipped as well as it could be, but the sound wasn't used as, it wasn't utilized as much as I thought it was going to be in terms of is it behind me, to the right of me, somewhere. It didn't really use it to that extent. It doesn't have to its benefit, it doesn't have jump scares, but it does have some very good moments of ratcheting up the tension in a very naturalistic and organic way, where the one specific shot was her at the kitchen table on the right side. There was a living room on the left, and in the middle there was a dark hallway, and it's just very, very slowly pushing in on her in the living room and pushing in on the hallway. So I thought, oh, there's going to be something here. Oh, I don't like it. Ooh, what's it going to be? And nothing really happened, which is fine. I'll give it points for sort of what's the word? Pivoting or flipping your expectations on its head of there's going to be a jump scare here. No, it wasn't. Okay, that's interesting. But overall, not one of the best I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah, not surprising. I had a feeling I was going to skip this one. Yeah, and I was going to bug the shit out of me being a podcaster, probably.
yeah, not great. And also in the not great category, saw Bride! Exclamation point. The Bride. I was thinking we should do a top 5 movies with exclamation points. It could be Mother. It could be what's that movie from the 70s? Oh God! Exclamation point, right? With Milton Berle or whatever.
Honey, don't.
Honey, don't. Yes.
Honey, comma, don't.
Honey, comma,
right?
don't.
Or is there a comma? Maybe there's not a comma. Maybe they fucked it up.
Exclamation. I'm just trying to type in movies with exclamation mark. Oh, Moulin Rouge, Mars Attacks, Oliver, Airplane, Mamma Mia. There's some good ones in there.
There's some good ones. Yeah, there's some solid ones.
That Thing You Do, Top Secret.
That's a good movie.
Yeah. Yep. There's some in there.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know there was that many.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Faster Pussycat Kill, The Informant. All right, there is some in there.
You gotta say them with some oomph though. You gotta be like The Informant.
The Informant.
Airplane.
Airplane. Yes. Bride. The Bride or Bride? I think it is just. It's The Bride.
The Bride.
Because
they put on it's less clean.
It's less clean. I don't know. I don't want to talk too much shit about it because it's obviously a movie that people liked making. Hopefully, there's a lot of people in this. Jesse Buckley, recent Academy Award winner.
Yeah, we just talked about how much we loved her.
Christian Bale coming back from the wilderness. Haven't seen him in much since let's say Ford v Ferrari, maybe even going back that far.
I mean, he was in Thor 4, I guess.
Yeah,
that's the last thing I can remember seeing him.
Peter Skarsgård, Annette Bening, Jake Gyllenhaal, Penelope Cruz. Jake Gyllenhaal, spoiler alert, not really in the movie. Kind of is, but kind of isn't.
Well, he did. He was doing a favor for his sister.
Yeah. It feels like a definitely Zack Snyder, like over the top stylistic in that way, but also Baz Luhrmann in that over the top stylistic way. A combination of that. There's quite a bit of musical numbers in this, surprisingly. It's speaking of a total movie, total whiplash of a movie. This thing is totally all over the place. Just scary, not scary, but like quiet, then like loud, then it's telling it's from the perspective of Mary Shelley, and she's coming back and forth into it, and it's like the motherfucking bride is on the way. Ooh, you said motherfucker. I'm scared. It's just, oh man. It's just,
it seems like a theater major ass movie. You know what I mean?
That's a very good way to put it. Yep, theater major ass movie. I mean, again, I saw this at Regal, so I didn't really pay too much to see it. It's fine. You could do a lot worse. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I got. I was like, I didn't really have any desire to see what if Hot Topic Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein were Bonnie and Clyde. That seems like to be the vibe that I get from this thing.
Yeah. So there's that. Moving on to Letterboxd assignments. I got some bad news, Derek. I'm sorry. I broke the streak. I did not see my pick. They did not see The Eternal Daughter. Womp womp. Did you see? Yeah. Did you see your pick, The Evil Dead?
I did indeed watch this movie. I made sure to watch it right away after we recorded the last one, so that we remember to do it. And it's a fun little like 80-minute movie. Like it's like it. I've seen so many movies that are sequels or remakes or whatever to it that crib on it so much that it was kind of like, oh, this is like seeing the original text, and obviously, it's Sam Raimi's first film, and you're like, he really right out the gate was like doing his Sam Raimi thing. Like it feels so much like you understand why this filmmaker, who he is, right immediately. It's a very, very cheap movie. You can kind of see how smartly he uses his very indie budget and why he immediately kind of got, snatched up as kind of the next great thing, and he kept Bruce Campbell with him that whole time. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of, it's the quintessential kind of cabin in the woods. There's monsters out to get us. There's something evil afoot happening kind of movie. I think he did obviously perfect it a little bit in Evil Dead 2. It's kind of just it's a sequel, but it's really a remake of this movie. Kind of like he has a budget now, he's gonna do another version of this. But yeah, I quite enjoyed this.
Yeah, classic for a reason. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
All right, so let's go to our watch list, and I will hit shuffle, and we'll see you for next time. And I get, okay. Speaking of gangster stuff from the 20s, I got Public Enemies, Michael Mann's Public Enemies.
Oh, that movie is not good. I mean, spoiler alert. Hey, Christian Bale also in that one, I think, right?
Yeah, yeah, he is. Yeah. Plays Melvin Purvis.
Yeah, I'm going after you, Johnny Depp. He says, all right.
All right, I'll be checking that out for next time. Derek, go to your watch list. Let me know what you get.
Shuffling, maybe. Okay, yeah. I got Boiling Point, the movie that was going to be an Anthony Bourdain movie that they didn't get the rights, but people still liked it a lot. So, movie. It's like a Safdie Brothers if they made a movie about Anthony Bourdain style movie. I think is the vibes of this thing.
Yeah, it's very funny that you got that. Because I was looking through the cast list of Public Enemies, and Stephen Graham is also in that.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Boiling Point. One of my favorite things. I will not spoil what is what's interesting about this movie, but next time when we come back, we can talk about it.
All right. Yeah, excited for this one.
Boiling Points. Okay, so that's our assignments for next time, and for next time, we got finally some big ones coming out next week, March 20th. Project Hail Mary. I listened to the audiobook. It's a fantastic book. Really looking forward to the film. Have you read the book, Derick?
I have not. My girlfriend's currently reading it, so I'm hearing a little bit about it. But I'm not one of those people who's like, I got to read the book before I see the movie. I'm very, very excited for the movie. It was obviously on my most anticipated of the year. So yeah, I'm going to see it probably pretty soon here. Looking forward to watching it.
Absolutely, as am I. We also have Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. I think it's like 7, 8 years after the first one. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to see it, obviously, but I am a little bit burnt out on the not so much eat the rich, but like somebody goes to, a mansion or the family member, or I think there's another one coming out very, very soon with Zazie Beetz where she gets terrorized by a hotel full of very rich people. So yeah. But yeah, looking forward to that a little bit. I also have one on here that goes under the category never even heard of this film before now, before doing the research for what's coming out. We have a movie called Vampires of the Velvet Lounge, directed by Adam Sherman.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, I don't know. Directed by Adam Sherman, but it has a lot of people in it. Mina Suvari, Dyken Lockman, Stephen Dorff, there was somebody else. Oh, Tyrese Gibson, Tom Berenger. What the fuck? I think I saw the synopsis here somewhere. Yeah, interesting looking thing. It's one of those, I love going through this just because I always find a thing in there where I'm like, what the fuck is that? So that's a thing people can check out.
Wow, a movie that we will never talk about, probably.
Probably, yeah. Following week, March 27th, we have Mirrors number 3 from one of my favorite working directors, Christian Petzold. People don't know, if people are not familiar with his work, he did a great film called Phoenix from 2014, which is one of my favorite neo-noirs of all time. He did a movie called Transit a couple of years ago, Undine 2020, and A Fire from 3 years ago. So I'm definitely looking forward to Mirrors number 3. It's probably going to be out in limited release on March 27th. And then the movie I was just referencing, a movie I referenced just a second ago, They Will Kill You, starring Zazie Beetz, Malala Harold, also known as Mahala from Industry, Tom Felton from the Harry Potter films, Heather Graham, Patricia Arquette. So yeah, seems like one of those. One of those movies that probably would have went to video, straight to video a few years ago, straight to streaming a few years ago, but now it's being theatrically released on March 27th. So that's the thing you can check out.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's coming out right after Ready or Not 2, because like you said, it's very, very similar vibes. So
yes.
I don't know if that's gonna help it or hurt it. Maybe somebody will walk into it by mistake.
All right. So let's do some plug-in. Medium, Substack, Medium, DamianSherman.medium.com. Letterboxd. I'm still 57 away from 2,500 followers, which is interesting. Usually I'll gain or lose some, but didn't change at all in the last couple weeks. Go to Film SES on YouTube. You can also check out the podcast on YouTube. Search for it there. Spotify for podcasters, and check out all the Discords I am on. I'm on Punk Trash on Discord, Midnight Film Pod on TikTok, and check out all the interviews from the past couple of years. Derick, what you got to plug?
Yeah, I mean, the thing I want to mention up first is that I'm doing the podcast, or I'm doing the panel called How Video Game Films Get Good. It's going to be at WonderCon. WonderCon is, of course, happening the weekend of the 27th to 29th. And on the 28th, I will be there talking about how video game films get good at room 300A at 7 o'clock. So I would love you guys to stop by, check that out. We're going to be talking about the history of video game films, how they went from kind of bad but fun to not so great to actually now are they starting to get better, the process of that, all that stuff. We've got some really incredible panelists there, and a really great moderator, my buddy Karosh, who has done many a panel before at WonderCon and Comic-Con, as well as other places. Is going to be moderating that, and so really looking forward to that. Really would love everyone to check that out, as well as my podcast, Underrated.
Nice. WonderCon, you get some tickets to that show and go to it.
Oh,
there we go. All right. So for Midnight Film Society, I've been Damian.
I've been Derick.
And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.